Hi, my name is Kelsey and I work at the University Branch Library in Sugar Land. Today we are making tote bags out of t-shirts. The first one I show you will have this seam with the ties on the inside, and the second will have this fringe edge. Then I will show you how to decorate them in this fun dot painting style. The supplies you'll need for this project are a couple of old t-shirts or tank tops, scissors, a ruler, a marker, some paint, Q-tips, a stencil, or an image to use as a stencil, and a piece of cardboard or something to put between the layers of your shirt. For the first tote bag, you're going to turn your shirt inside out. Then you're going to mark where you will make cuts for the strips that will make the seam. You're going to take your ruler and measure 2 to 3 inches from the bottom of the shirt on both sides. Then you will draw a line across which will mark where you're cutting your strips to. Next, you will make marks at every inch along the line to mark the strips for the seam. You will also want to make inch marks along the hemline. You can cut your strips without measuring first, but measuring helps make it more precise. Next, you will take your scissors and cut from the first inch mark on the hem to the first inch mark on the line you drew. You're going to repeat this process all the way across. Your strips do not have to be perfect, but it may be a good idea to use fabric scissors for easier cutting. Once you've cut all the strips, you'll want to cut up the side of each edge to create a set of strips to tie together. Next, you're going to take the first set of front and back strips and tie them tightly together. I like to tie them twice to make sure they hold. Then you will repeat this process with each set of strips across the edge. The shirt may start to bunch as you go, and that is okay. It will help create a tighter seam. If you cut your strips higher than 3 inches, you may want to trim them once you finish tying them together so they do not catch on anything you may put in your bag. Now you're going to turn your shirt back to the outside. If you're using a tank top, the straps will become the handles and you are finished. With the t-shirt, you will want to cut off each sleeve. Then you'll cut out the neckline. I didn't want to cut too deeply due to the words on the back, but I couldn't see where I needed to cut in the front and the back, so I did end up cutting into them a little bit, but that's okay. Once you cut out your neckline, your bag is finished. For the second tote bag, I will be using an old tank top. This one you will mark on the outside. I'm using a Sharpie for this, but you may want to use a pencil or something that won't show up as obviously on your bag. With this one, you're going to measure about 5 inches from the hem. This will allow for a longer fringe at the bottom. The higher you go, the shallower your bag will be, so you will want to take that into consideration if you choose to go higher than 5 inches. Once you mark both sides, you will draw a line across as your guideline. Then you will mark every inch across just as you did with the other bag. You will mark across the bottom as well to make it easier to guide the cuts. As you can see, this shirt has a curved hem. You can trim this across to make it even, or as I did, you can leave it. If you leave it, you will want to make your bottom cuts as straight across as possible so that they match up with the top marks. Once you finish making your marks, you will take your scissors and use the marks to cut strips across the bottom. You will want to cut slightly higher than the line you marked to help hide your marks when you tie off your strips. The material of this shirt was very thin, so you can see that the cuts are very ragged, but this just adds to the fringy look of the bag once it's complete. Once you finish cutting the strips, you'll need to cut up the side strips to make 2 strips, just as you did with the last tote bag. If you have a tag on the side, as I do here, you'll need to cut that out. Then you will take the first set of strips and tie the front and back together. Again, I would tie them twice just to ensure they are tight. Then continue this all the way through. The thin fabric of this shirt did not allow for a tight seam, so there are some holes in my seam. You will want to be aware of that to ensure you don't lose any items you place in your bag. If you're using a tank top as I am, then once you're finished tying the strips, your bag is complete. If you have a tag in the neckline, you'll want to cut it out. If you're using a t-shirt for this, you will want to cut off both sleeves and then cut out the neckline, just as I did before. This will create the handles for your bag. Now I will show you how to decorate this bag in a dot painting style. I have this fabric paint, but you can use any acrylic paint or any paint that can be used on fabric. I'm going to take my cardboard and place it between the layers of my shirt so that the paint does not seep through to the back layer. I have this thick piece of magazine paper to hold my paint, but you can use a palette or a paper plate. You can use as many colors as you would like. I have 2 for mine, purple and white. Then you're going to place your stencil or image where you want it. You'll take a Q-tip, dip it in the paint, and then dot around the edge of your image. If you're using a stencil, you would dot alongside the inside edge of the stencil. Go all the way around the edge with the dots to create an outline of the image. You will want to dip your Q-tips into the paint every few dots to make sure there is enough paint to show up on your shirt. Once you've created an outline, carefully remove your stencil or image from your shirt. Now you're going to take your Q-tip and thicken up your outline, and as you work your way outward, you will make fewer and farther apart dots. I'm using the same color, but you could use a different color if you'd like. In this process, you will find that the Q-tip starts to flatten out. If you'd like, you can always use the other side of the Q-tip, or you can use a new Q-tip. Once you have finished with that color, you can choose to layer another color over the top in different spots, and you can continue to layer with as many colors as you would like. You can let the layers dry between colors or apply them immediately after one another, as I did, to create some different hues. Once you are happy with your layers, let it dry completely, and then your decorated bag is complete. Thank you for watching and have a great day.